She left work, eager to meet her husband for dinner, but she never made it home. A chilling disappearance, a shocking murder, and a case filled with deception, unanswered questions, and a conviction that left some wondering. Was the right man sentenced to die? Tonight, we unravel the haunting case of Molly Murphy-Elliot and the man condemned for her murder, Jesse D. Hoffman. For nearly 3 decades, this case has haunted Louisiana. But now, as his execution looms, a disturbing question remains. Was justice truly served? It was November 27, 1996, the night before Thanksgiving. Molly Murphy-Elliot, a talented and ambitious 28-year-old, finished her shift at a successful advertising firm. She was excited to get home. Her husband, Andy, was waiting for her. But Molly never arrived. She was last seen leaving her office, heading toward her car in the Sheraton Hotel parking garage. Somewhere between the building and her vehicle, she vanished. As the hours passed, Andy's concern turned to fear. He called her cell phone. No answer. He called again. Still nothing. Then panic set in. Andy reported Molly missing. Police launched an immediate search, but across the city, another discovery was about to send chills through investigators. That same night, in a dimly lit parking lot miles away, a couple stumbled upon something unsettling. A woman's belongings. Scattered on the pavement, a purse, a jacket, and 3 ATM receipts from Regions Bank in East New Orleans. Detectives rushed to the scene. The items were quickly identified as Molly's. But where was she? Surveillance footage from the ATM provided the first critical clue. There she was, Molly withdrawing cash. And right next to her, a man wearing a black jacket with valet printed across the back. Who was he? And what had he done to Molly? The answer came just hours later, and it was worse than anyone could have imagined. Thanksgiving morning, November 28, 1996. Families across Louisiana were preparing for a day of gratitude. But for one fisherman on the Middle Pearl River, the holiday was about to take a horrifying turn. At first, he thought it was a bundle of clothing caught in the weeds along the riverbank. But as he stepped closer, his stomach dropped. It wasn't clothing. It was a body. A woman, naked, lifeless. The water lapped against her pale skin. A single gunshot wound to the head. Police swarmed the scene. The body was transported to the coroner's office. Hours later, Andy Elliott was called in to identify her. He took one look at the lifeless face before him, and his world shattered. It was Molly. The hunt for a killer. With Molly's murder confirmed, investigators turned back to the surveillance footage. Who was the man at the ATM with her? The valet jacket provided the first major lead. Detectives traced it to a downtown parking lot and began questioning employees. One name stood out, Jesse D. Hoffman. When police picked him up, he was calm, too calm. They asked where he was the night Molly vanished. His response? A tangled web of lies. But no matter how many times he changed his story, the truth was about to catch up with him. At first, Jesse flatly denied any involvement. Then, he changed his story. He claimed he had been in East New Orleans, delivering medicine to his girlfriend. But detectives already knew that was a lie. When they pressed him, his story shifted again. This time, he spun a bizarre tale, claiming he had been kidnapped by 2 strangers. According to Jesse, these mysterious men forced him at gunpoint to go with Molly to the ATM. He said that after withdrawing money, they took Molly to a remote location, made him assault her, then led her toward the river. He swore he never heard a gunshot, never saw a weapon, and never killed her. But investigators weren't buying it, and soon, forensic evidence would destroy his lies. Jesse Hoffman's world was closing in. Detectives confronted him with the ATM footage, where his face was clearly visible beside Molly. Then, they showed him the most damning piece of evidence, a single bullet casing recovered near the riverbank. Ballistics testing matched it to a gun owned by Jesse Hoffman. But that wasn't all. Molly's clothing, purse, and personal items were found scattered near the crime scene. And when forensic results came back, they confirmed what detectives already suspected. Jesse's DNA was found on Molly's body, With overwhelming proof against him, Jesse knew there was no escape, but he refused to admit the truth. Instead, he changed his story one last time. Now, he claimed the murder was an accident. He said Molly grabbed his gun, they struggled, and it just went off. But detectives knew better. The gunshot wound was a precise execution-style shot. There was no struggle, no accident. Jesse Hoffman was out of lies, and now he would face justice. When Jesse Hoffman went to trial, the evidence spoke louder than his fabrications. Prosecutors laid out every detail: DNA evidence, surveillance footage, ballistics. All pointed to one conclusion: Jesse D. Hoffman had kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered Molly Elliott. The jury deliberated for only a few hours before returning their verdict: guilty. The sentence? Death. Jesse Hoffman showed no emotion as the judge delivered his fate. But for Molly's family, justice had finally been served. But was it really the end? For nearly 3 decades, Jesse Hoffman has sat on death row, waiting for the day his sentence would be carried out. And now in 2024, Louisiana is finally moving forward with his execution. But as the date approaches, a question lingers. Was death the justice he deserved? Or is there still more to this story than we were told? For nearly 3 decades, Jesse Hoffman has waited for his fate. Now, with his execution imminent, the case is finally coming to a close. But does this ending bring true justice, or does it leave behind unanswered questions? Was Jesse Hoffman the real monster behind Molly Elliott's murder? Or is there a missing piece of the puzzle we may never uncover? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want more chilling true crime stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Crime Chronicles. Because sometimes, the truth isn't as simple as it seems.